Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be pretty much just have this summoning footage in the background while we talk about other stuff in this video. And before we jump into that other stuff we're going to talk about, please do not try and replicate what I'm doing in this stupid video. There's about 40,000 crystals worth of summon in this video on this banner. And yeah, I was talking about how bad this banner is, whatever, but I think Vegeta is legitimately like a top 3 unit in the game, which is why I'm going so hard and trying to get him start up. I think Goku's really good as well. So even though the rest of this banner isn't really too good, and obviously it's not even that's not too good, that's terrible, like literally trashed here. Every other Vegeta unit is just terrible. There's just no point even trying. Even if you're a content creator, like I always say all the time, like, oh, it's for content, it's for content. Even if you're a content creator and you're watching this, like it's just not worth it. So yeah, don't try and copy me here. Just saying, this is dumb. I would not do this again. If I could go back in time, I would not do this again. So, the topic of this video we're going to talk about here is PvP. So, if you guys haven't noticed, I've been doing pretty much 100% of my showcases and recent just gameplay videos through friend matches. And the reasoning for that is not because PvP is boring, or, well, I mean, that's kind of it, but not because what the updates they've been doing are bad, because I actually think the matchmaking update that they released recently is actually really good. I think that's one of the first steps they could have taken to address sort of the like dull and boring, I guess, method of actually leveling up and ranking up in ranked PvP, because it becomes apparent during the 2 and 3 times RP seasons where you're just fighting players who are below you, like 2 times, 3 times less RP than you have. And every match is 2 RP, 3 RP, and depending on if it's 2 or 3 times. And it's like, there's just no motivation to continue playing PvP. And even you see that sometimes in regular seasons as well. Don't even have 2 or 3 times RP. You fight somebody who's way less RP than you, and you just get 1. So this matchmaking update was really good because it actually rectified a lot of the issues that particular I guess, facet of the PvP system had in ranked PvP. So I think that's a good change. You're also fighting a lot better quality matches with players who have, typically better accounts as well, if you're high up in the ranks. So there are some problems, though, associated with PvP still. And one of them specifically is actually branching off of, the change they made, where we just talked about you're fighting players with similar RP. And what that's going to do is it's obviously going to make the competition at the top of the ladder a lot more difficult and harsh, because you're fighting, better players. You're going to want to use better teams. That's just the natural progression of how that would go. So with a bigger cluster of people only using the top teams in the top ranks, it sort of forces you to stop experimenting with different teams because you want to just use what you know is already really good. So I ranked 20 last season, 20 overall. So 20th in the world last season I finished. And obviously took a lot of grinding to get to that rank. I've fought a lot of players. I used, like, for 90% of the season, I would say that, yeah, 90% sounds pretty accurate. I used Sun Family Team. My main 3 were Kid Goku, Zenkai Kid Goku, obviously, Green Super Kaioken Goku, and Purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So that was my team that I used. And I think, I don't have the exact stats because I didn't record every match, but I think something like 90%, 95% plus of the matches that I fought were against either God Key, Future, or Fusions. And to me, that's the reason why I'm taking a break from ranked this season. It's just because it's just not fun to continue fighting the same teams over and over again. And even within that complaint that I have, I think there's some, sub things that we have to talk, like subcategories of issues that we have to talk about as well. And I think a lot of this has to do with just the meta, and that's the main issue I want to talk about here, because the past 2 metas in this game, I mean, the last one was the regen meta, and now we're currently in like I'm just going to call it the Vegito Blue meta, because every single team that he's on is just instantly like just stupidly good and annoying and broken. So these metas that we've had recently with regen, and now we have this Vegeta Blue meta, only one or a handful of teams are super dominant. And the reason why I say handful is because I'm really just lumping God, Ki, Future, and Fusions all together into the same team, because it's all just Vegito Blue, right? You change like 2 characters. Future and God Ki are literally the same. And then Fusions, you just add Kefla and Yellow Vegito, and that's the team. But there's just been this trend we've seen recently where, honestly, they've just done a really poor job with balance. And balance, I feel like they haven't really been taking a serious approach to balance in this game. Honestly, looking at just the base mechanics of how this game functions, like Rising Rush, you have Feint, you have Paralysis. I think the existence of those features in this game just shows how they don't really consider this game to be super competitive, and that's not really the core aspect of what they were trying to go for when developing the game. So, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people take this game very seriously, which is fine. You're jumping into PvP to win, right? You're not queuing up into PvP and like, all right, like, I'm ready to lose now. No, everyone's trying to win. So, losing to Rising Rush, losing to a Feint, losing to Paralysis, it just feels really bad. And basically what I'm trying to say with this is I think they need to take balance more seriously, because it feels like they haven't even been trying to balance the game at all. If you take a look at like Rage Trunks, take a look at Merge Zamasu, Vegito Blue, now you take a look at this Vegeta as well, who, by the way, I think is better than both Rage Trunks and Merge Zamasu. If that's even possible, because I think this guy just pairs up with Vegito Blue. He's the best partner for Vegito Blue in the game. He basically allows him to one combo any unit. And it's just, I don't know. The balance and power level, or how good units are, honestly, isn't super duper important to me. But I feel like it is very important to a lot of people, because, if you see the same teams over and over again, it's just like, okay, at what point are we going to start seeing other teams? This anniversary specifically was supposed to be half GT. How often do you run into, Omega Shenron or Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku? I see them maybe like once every 30 matches. I haven't seen Omega Shenron in probably over 100 matches. So that's just a little bit annoying, in my opinion. They should have made those units a little bit better, honestly, and then made the Trunks and Zamasu a little bit worse, just to compensate for that, because Vegito Blue is already going to be insane. But to me, the most important thing in terms of balance isn't the power level of the units. It's more so how fun it feels to play, in terms of like, oh, this unit feels really fun to play, or this unit doesn't feel fun to play, or this unit doesn't feel fun to play against. You have to consider both sides in terms of like game design. This is like a very important thing that all these game developers have to understand. When I'm not a game designer, but just from someone who's played games for my whole life, like it's just basic, right? If you have to look at it from 2 dimensions. The first one is the person using the unit. Is the unit fun to use? If the answer is no, already you fail. If the answer is yes, then you move on to step 2, which is this unit fun to play against? Now, it's a harder question to answer, because I feel like, if you're losing to that unit, it's never going to be fun, because losing in itself just is not fun. But there's certain degrees to basically how unfun it is. And when you're fighting Vegito Blue specifically, and he's comboing you, and comboing you, and comboing you, and drawing cards, and ulting you, you can't do anything. And he's green carding you if you go into a cover change, and he's taking like very little damage return. It just doesn't feel fun at all. Even if they kept him at the same power level, and I've said this before a million times, I feel like at this point, but if they kept him at the same power level as he is right now, but instead of making him draw cards constantly and just continuously just pounding you and have blast arm and all this just broken stuff and locking you in on super special move, I feel like instead of giving him all that, just increase his damage. Like, literally just give him more damage. Maybe take away his ability to draw strike cards with strike cards. Take away the key restoration, but make him hit harder. Basically, keep him the same power level that he's at right now, which it is pretty nuts how insanely good he is, but if he was balanced in a way that was more fun to play against, I feel like people wouldn't complain as much. Because, whether you like it or not, it's Vegito Blue. He's like the most popular character, one of the most popular characters in the franchise. And even if he was like a mediocre unit, people would still be using him in PvP. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest. So it's a combination of just, power level balancing, which I think has just been very bad lately, and the balancing of how fun it actually feels to play against the unit. Like, okay, we can go over the 2 the metas that I've talked about, which is the regen one, which is, I don't think fighting a super bulky, infinitely healing regen team is fun, since you don't feel like you're accomplishing anything or making progress when damaging them, right? They're just going to heal it off, and, you know, Baby's going to come in, pop his main, Boo's going to pop his main, Boo's going to lock you in, lock your strike cards, and you can't do anything. Not a very fun team to play against, for the opposite reason of the one that's, you know, the meta right now, which is the Fusion's God Key Future team. Hyper offensive, just annoying. You make one mistake and you pretty much just lose the character guaranteed. Whether it's to get rushed, you get Kefla'd by like 7 strike cards in a row. If Vegeta Blue comes in, he ults you, you're dead. Like, there's a million ways they have, and a million tools they have to just deal with everything. And like, if you get caught once, like I said, they can chain their combos for so long that it's honestly not enjoyable to play, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking a break this season. So you can let me know down below what you guys think about this. And by the way, my summons are still going on. Yeah, but let me know down below what you guys think about this. I don't know, you guys want to like join me in doing only friend matches? I actually have been having a lot of fun with the game doing friend matches, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. I'll probably return to PvP next season. I just need a break because it's enough. Like, Vegeta Blue, like, it's enough. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one.
제가